In yesterday's video, I was explaining how to set the blade height and to only set the blade height 1 tooth above the board. And many of us have been taught that way. And I'll probably continue to teach that way with my students because having the blade really, really high, which is what this comment suggested, is a little bit scary for new woodworkers. So let's just take a look though. As we're cutting when the blade is low, we have to apply pressure on the top. If we raise this blade up much higher, now the pressure is going to be more down on the board on this side, and it's not going to need any pressure on top of the board. Let's check it out.
Got tagged in this video, and this is no criticism against that high school teacher. Actually, I appreciate that he's teaching kids, and kids are, well, I don't have the patience for it. Let's just say that. At any rate, I just wanted to clarify that any individual thing on ripping a table saw, in other words, adjusting the blade height, is not a complete story. That any of these safety sort of protocols in isolation are useless. That they might have some benefit to them, but there are primary guards. There's a crown guard covering the blade. There are push sticks, at least 2. There's a runoff table, and there's a short position rip fence. Modern equipment in Europe, at any way, since the 1920s, has been equipped with all of those things. This is what, in unison, working in proper setup, protects you from danger. And all of it stems from your hand can never be more than 30 centimeters from the blade. So if you take the crown guard off, then you don't have any primary protection. And let me assure you, SawStop is only secondary protection. It is, you've put your hand too close to the blade and you have ignited, it's too close, okay? Proper training, if you want to keep all 10 digits by the end of your career, you should follow safe work practices. And the HSE, Health and Safety Executive in England, has online whole documents on training of a table saw and, in fact, all other equipment. And so to train people without using primary guards, crown guards, riving knives, and the proper use of push sticks isn't preparing them for the industry, in my opinion. And like I said, this is nothing to do with this high school teacher, which I think actually is above average from what I've watched. But I'm just giving you my, well, I was trained this way. Thank you. My good friend Jamie Ward of Stokes College in the UK does a great demonstration of the proper safe work practice of ripping on a table saw. Now, I will point out that these might not be familiar with some people in the Americas. He's pointing out a crown guard, which is an essential equipment, and the riving knife, but also the setting of the riving knife. The space behind the blade needs to be no more than 8 millimeters, and it has to be a certain distance above the table, okay? It also has to be the right thickness, smaller than the kerf, but fatter than the saw blade. The runoff table cannot allow the worker to reach the back of the blade, okay? And notice that it's also equipped with a short position fence. Modern fences now in Europe have sliding rip plate fences, and so the short fence stops just at the gullets so that there is no long fence between the ripping plate. So notice that the plate's quite tall. He's setting it up. He's fine adjusting it. He's adjusted the nose piece of the crown. And this is to protect your fingers from ever becoming in contact. But regulations for ripping require not 1, but 2 push sticks, which keep your hand from the end of the push sticks at minimum 30 centimeters or 1 foot. Okay, now notice the blade is high, but because it's protected with a crown guard, there is no fear of your hands coming in contact because the crown guard protects it. So, as I said, short position rip fence, minimum 2 push sticks, and notice the length of those push sticks. So there's no need to hold it down. There's no need to push it past the fence. He's actually finished the cut. This is the proper safe work practice that has been, with all due respect to industry, since the 1920s and trained as an apprenticeship college. Oh, and by the way, that's a beautiful Robinson rip fence, still being trained in college. And yes, that is a 32-inch diameter blade. So if you were afraid of table saws, the proper safe work practice is to keep your hands 30 centimeters away. Lowering the blade is not it.